Hey, what up, KX crew? This is a follow-up video to my last video about acid reflux. For anybody interested, anybody else who's on a similar journey to me, I figure this video is worth making. So today I'm in for my esophageal manometry test. So I flew in from Churchill for this. I had to be off all of my prescribed medications for a full week, which means the medication that was keeping my acid at bay is now not there. So my acid is coming at full strength. And if you've ever had heartburn, maybe you know the feeling, but it's something else without medication, man. This has been by far one of the most painful weeks that I've ever experienced. But if you don't have super serious heartburn, you may just have it every once in a while. You've probably had the over-the-counter relief supplements, something like a calcium supplement or Tums or Gaviscon is the strongest one. That's the one I'm using. I'm burning through that bottle fast, man. I'm on my second bottle this week. For the test today, they don't want me on anything. I can't have any food or water for 6 hours prior to this test. The test is in a couple hours, so I'm almost there. But I also can't have any kind of relief medications, no prescriptions, no over-the-counter stuff, nothing. And the over-the-counter stuff off my prescription was kind of the only lifeline that I had. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit scared about the remainder of this day and tomorrow, because for this test, I have to be off everything for a 24-hour period. Now, it doesn't sound long, but when you have acid from your stomach constantly coming up because there's no seal anymore. The stomach is bulging into my esophagus, which means there's nothing that's sealing it into my stomach. So it's constantly coming up every time I lie down. Anytime I eat or drink anything, I'm constantly being punished. So the only relief that I was getting off of the medication was this Gaviscon, and now I don't have that. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit scared. I went to bed real nervous. I had nightmares all night. This has been a really rough few days. But anyway, what the test is, they're gonna stick a nose down my no, they're gonna stick a tube down my nose. Not a nose down my nose. They're gonna stick a tube down my nose, down my throat, into my stomach, and then they're gonna get me to sip water or something like that. And they wanna test out my esophagus and see how efficient it works. So I don't know, whatever that entails. And then they're gonna decide then how to proceed with the surgery. They want my stomach in its rawest shape so they can see my acid reflux in its truest form and all of its splendor and glory. And then they're gonna send me a little take-home gift. They're gonna have a different tube down my nose into my stomach. I'm gonna have a monitor around my waist, and I'm gonna have to rock that baby for 24 hours. Go back the next day so they can pull that out, see my results. I'm gonna keep a little diary, a little food diary, a little sip diary, so I can record everything that I'm taking in. My surgery is going to be in less than a month. So that's pretty awesome that this whole thing is hopefully going to be over soon. But definitely have to go through hell to get there. All right, I'll touch base with you after the fun contraption is in my body. So, tube is going through this nostril, taped down around the ear just so it doesn't move as much. Probably can't see it, but the tube's going right down the back of my throat, all the way down into my stomach. Is it uncomfortable? Very. So this is the device that I'm hooked up to. This tube runs into my stomach. The tube that's just dangling above my stomach, it's reading the amount of acid that is coming up. So right now I'm looking pretty good. Above 7 is pretty good. That means I'm not really getting much heartburn. I don't know what's normal for a normal person, but that number goes down once my acid starts to climb. And it's kind of cool when it happens because it's, I don't know, a little bit validating in a way that it's like, there it is, there's the proof. It's not just in my head. So these buttons are for recording data. The meal one, I'm supposed to click it and let it run while I'm eating. Same thing with the bed one for sleeping. And this one I just press when I'm feeling like I have heartburn. And then I record that all into here and I write it down on a separate sheet. This is just hanging on my ear so that it doesn't tug super hard. But this tube goes around, down my throat, into my stomach. I can constantly feel it in my throat when I eat things. If I'm eating something solid, it has to go down with the tube. So sometimes it feels like it gets stuck on the tube and then the tube pulls and then it pulls through my nose and then it's a very uncomfortable sensation. But if it's like something like liquid, it doesn't bother me too much. But I constantly can feel the tube there. It's like you're constantly trying to swallow something, but you can't. So I can start to feel my throat's getting a little bit sore. But I just made it through the night thanks to melatonin. Knocked me out pretty good. And now I'm basically just counting down the hours so I can go back and pull this thing out. The tube going into the nose, it's this constant feeling of wanting to sneeze. I think maybe I just have a sensitive nose because I had a really hard time with them putting this in, and that's not the experience for everyone. But apparently I'm really uncomfortable with foreign objects. Just talking, this thing is vibrating. Apparently I'm really uncomfortable with foreign objects being in my body. I was like super lightheaded when they put it in. They had to wheel me out on a wheelchair. I sweat right through my shirt. I just don't do well with it. I've passed out from getting IVs before, so I love the body, I love anatomy. I just don't super love inside of it, especially when something is wrong. Like, I like when things are right, and I like when things are normal and you can make them better, right? Like strengthening your muscles and your strength. But when things are wrong and broken, and that's a whole nother side of things that I'm not super great with. Well, the first tube that they did with the test was significantly thicker, so that one was a lot harder. They spray like numbing into your nose, and they feed it in very slowly, you know, little piece by piece by piece by piece, and every single push is, in my opinion, a little bit more uncomfortable than the last one. And then it's such a weird feeling because you feel it going all the way around inside your head, every single push, and then it kind of breaks through, and then all of a sudden it's in your throat. And then you have to swallow it, and then my nurse kept feeding it. It was a super weird sensation. And then when she goes to pull it out, it just gone. 1 second. Kind of cool. I'm very much looking forward to that sensation again today. I will say though that when I'm not moving my head around, or I'm not talking, or I'm not eating, if I just am perfectly still and I'm watching TV or something, I can't feel it at all. So there is a certain comfort that comes from distracting yourself with TV or video games or whatever it is you're doing. As long as your mouth is not doing anything, you can't really tell it's there. Alright, now I'm on my way to get this thing pulled. Not gonna lie, it was kind of cool to have a little device in my body taking readings on stomach acid. It was a little bit cool, but I'm definitely glad to be getting it out. Well, back in Churchill now. Tube's out, obviously. My throat is still a bit sore from the tube being in there. And when they pulled the tube out, they told me that the tube wasn't really resting in there super great, which is why I was probably so uncomfortable. Some people, they just have a better experience. So if you're watching this and you're about to go through this, it may have gone a lot smoother for you. The doctor who was working with me said that some people, they don't even notice the thing. So I had a really hard time with it. It was really uncomfortable for me. That's also because I just have a hard time with foreign objects being in my body. You might have a better experience than I did. Anyway, they got their measurements, they got their data, they got everything they need. So in just over a couple weeks, I'm gonna go get a surgery, and then you'll be hearing from me next then with a video. Until then, I'm just gonna enjoy what it's like to have less stomach acid building thanks to medication. Feeling very blessed to have that now. Feeling very blessed to have my antacids. Now that I've experienced what it's like at its full force, man, it is great to be back on medication. But soon, hopefully, I can return to feeling what it's like to be a normal person and eat food and not feel like I'm about to get punished every single time I eat or drink anything. So yeah, for the next couple weeks, I'm gonna do my usual thing. I'm just gonna eat what feels good. I'm not gonna stress about working out because I obviously can't do that, but I can walk. I'm taking the dog right now. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It'll help me grow my channel. Claus, thanks out.